favorite superhero is. Is it Batman? Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Diamond Select Toys action figure review on the Mallrats, Brodie, and Jay. If you're trying to pick these up, you will be able to get them at big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. And thanks so much to Diamond Select Toys for making this review possible. If you want to see the latest from them, go ahead and check out their YouTube channel, link in the description below. As you can see, we have Brodie right over here, and we have Jay. You can see they come with a bunch of accessories. Then on the side, there's not a lot going on, and then right there, you can see both figures side by side. And then coming next, we have Silent Bob and Renee. Then there's a little read-up over here. If you want to read it, hit the K button. All right, let's get to it and crack these things open. And here's Jay and Brodie out of the packaging. Now, a little interesting that Diamond Select Toys chose to split up Jay and Silent Bob, but at the same time, I totally understand, especially with Brodie really being the star of the movie, and Jay was awesome as well. These figures come with some really cool accessories. As you can see, we get some blueprints right over here. We get that refill cup right over there for Brodie. Really awesome pieces over here. I do have some gripes, which I'll point out in a minute, but first, let's take a closer look at the accessories that came with Brodie. Now, both figures come with a display stand, which you don't really need. They both have fairly good ankle articulation, so they don't really fall over too easily. Of course, we get that cup that we just saw earlier right over here. We get the bag for the chocolate covered pretzels, looking really good, and you can fit the chocolate covered pretzel right inside right there. Chocolate covered pretzel looks very good all on its own. I think they did a really good job with that. Very small. He also gets a cookie. If you remember the little debate between Brodie and TS about like the little cookie shop being part of the food court. I have to agree with Brodie on that. Unless it's part of the actual food court, it doesn't count. And then we have the remote, or not the remote, but we have the video game controller right over there. And then we have this other one right over here. And then we also get this, fake comic, I guess, for, licensing and stuff like that. They just used Mallrats comics. Pow! And Brodie's hands hold the accessories fairly well. It's not too difficult getting him to hold any of these. This has a little bit of a tighter grip right over here. This one's a little bit more open. I think Diamond did a really good job on this Brodie head sculpt. It really looks like Jason Lee to me, especially the nose. I really like the paint as well. You get this nice 5 o'clock shadow. The mouth looks good. Yeah, really looks like Jason Lee. My only gripe, though, is I wish they went with a different facial expression, especially because Jason Lee has a very distinct big grin. So if they'd went with that facial expression, that would have been awesome, especially because, I don't know, you see him do that a lot in the movie. So would have preferred a grinning Jason Lee, but still looks like Jason Lee, I think. And I think the hair came out looking pretty good, too. Get some brown and black mixed in over there. So not too bad. And the coat over here looks pretty good as well. You get some black wash over the brown. That looks pretty nice to me. Add some texture to it. Nice wrinkles sculpted in here and buttons. We don't get the little pattern right over here on his t-shirt. I'm guessing for licensing reasons. As you can see, we're missing that image right over there. And the jeans look pretty good. Nice seams on the sides. Nice wrinkles and everything. Not too bad. Shoes look pretty nice as well. You get some nice stitching and some painted laces. He does have treads at the bottom of his feet right there, along with the peg holes. I don't really like that you could see these little lines in this joint in the back of the knees. I think that looks kind of ugly, but not the worst thing in the world. Now for Brodie's articulation, the head joint is a bit limited. You can't get him looking up at all, so that's a little unfortunate. You can just move down a tiny bit. You do get some side-to-side movement over here, and just a tiny little bit of side. Yeah, it kind of wobbles a little bit right there, side to side. The shoulders can move outward that much, so that's pretty cool, and they'll move down that far. They can move forward. He has a single jointed elbow that moves in that much, and he can rotate side to side, but no hinging up and down. There's a waist joint over here, and then the hip joints can move outward that far, and then he can kick forward this much and move back some. No upper thigh cut. He does have double jointed knees, so you can get his knees bent in. Yeah, there you go. You can fold it in all the way. And then his ankles do move down, they do move up, and they turn side to side a little bit, and he does have ankle pivot. Now for Jay's accessories, we get the same base as we saw earlier with Brodie. Then we also get this sock full of coins over here, which Bob actually used more so than Jay. So I don't know, we'll see what kind of accessories we get with Bob, but I thought this was pretty cool that they still added this in here. It's kind of funny looking, but you could tell that you have the coins all at the bottom right over there. Some nice lines sculpted in it. We also get this baseball bat with some nice silver paint right there saying Thumper, looking really cool. So pretty nice baseball bat. I like it. Then we get these 2 sets of blueprints, which are fantastic. I really like these. Now they're just made with cardboard, but still, I think these are great. I really like him a lot. I thought this was hella funny. Just the explanation through all of this and everything was just awesome. So yeah, very, very cool. I'm glad that they included these. And then Jay also has an alternate left hand. So he's got that rock-on hand right over here for the left side. So that's pretty cool that you could swap these out, and it fits pretty easily. I wish he did have wrist articulation where they could move up and down. Now here's a close look at Jay's head sculpt, which I don't really think looks like Jason Mewes. I don't know. It doesn't look terrible, but I just don't see too much Jason Mewes in there. Kinda. And then comparing him to the Jay and Silent Bob head sculpt, I don't think neither of these really look just like Jason Mewes. I don't know. I think I like the head sculpt on this one a little bit more. But I wish they had gone with a little bit more of a, I don't know, unique facial expression. Like on the cover right over here, like him doing that, especially because we get that hand that goes with that gesture. That would have been cool to get him doing that right there. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wish they went with a different facial expression for both of them, really. But anyway, the hair looks really well sculpted. I really like that. We get this nice paint detail right here, so it's not just one solid color. We get some color variation right over there. So that looks pretty good. But as far as the rest of the figure goes, there's not a whole lot of other paint. You get some nice wrinkles right over here. Again, in the movie, he had like a logo, like a Shiva kind of logo right there, and he had, you know, some white design patterns on his arms, which we're not getting right here. I'm assuming for licensing reasons that they couldn't do that. But still, I really like the wrinkles and everything. Shorts look pretty good. Then he has some nice flesh tone right there. And the boots look pretty good as well. Some nice laces. You can see his socks and everything. He does have treads at the bottom of his feet. And here's looking at the back of his meaty calves. And then there's the back of the hair again. Now, similar to Brodie, there is limited head articulation. You can't get Jay looking upward at all. He does move down some, though, so that's pretty good. Actually, he looks down a fair amount. You can move his head side to side. The hair doesn't really get in the way of that, so that's pretty cool. And you can wobble the head left and right, or, you know, pivot left and right like that a little bit, so that's pretty cool. His shoulders move all the way outward. You can't move them down that much. They move forward. He bends at the elbows a little bit more than 90 degrees. You get the swivel, but no hinge at the wrists. He does have a waist swivel right here, and then he does have hip joints that can move outward just that far, and he can kick forward that much and back. I wish he could kick up more than that, though. He doesn't have an upper thigh cut, but he does have this above the knee swivel right over here, and he does have double jointed knees, but you cannot move that top joint right there, so you can only really move the bottom joint, so that's a little unfortunate. Then he does have boot rotation right here, and his ankles move down, up a little bit, and he does have ankle pivot. Now to measure out Brodie and Jay, you can see that they're standing both just a little over 7 inches tall, and I don't remember one being particularly much taller than the other, so I think the scaling right here looks fairly decent. Then to bring in the Jay from the Jay and Silent Bob movie line from Diamond Select Toys, you can see that this Jay is just a little bit shorter than this Jay right over here. Then to compare these two newer figures, we have the Fat Man himself, aka Kevin Smith, right over here as Silent Bob, and then here they are next to the Marvel Legends Big Time No Letdown Spider-Man. Now I do have my complaints about these figures. I do wish we had gotten different facial expressions, and I really wish we had gotten either a bicep swivel or an elbow swivel on each of these. Like, getting Jay to hold this bat with both hands is very difficult because we don't have a swivel in the arm at all, so that's another gripe of mine. But for the most part, I really like them, and I'm very happy that Diamond Select Toys is making these Mallrats figures, and I hope you guys really liked this review. If you did, please hit the like button, go ahead and leave a comment down below, let the world know what you think. If you haven't subscribed already, please stick around for the subscribe circle, and please do so. If you want to check out a photo gallery of images, you can find it all over at toynewseye.com. And please follow me on the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links all in the description below. I'll catch you guys later. Snoogans. Posing action figures. I'm posing action figures. I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures. I'm posing action figures. I'm posing action figures. It's okay.
That's crispy.
No upper. Oh wait.